All right, what's going on, everybody? It's Nabs Fight Media in the building. Today I just want to talk about Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. There was a little bit of an update having to do with this fight and its progress in terms of it actually being made, the negotiations and whatnot. So obviously there was the Hall of Fame induction. Many great fighters were there. Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather was there. Who else was there? Juan Manuel Marquez was there. Shane Mosley. Who else? There were a lot of legends over there. Sean Porter was in attendance. Um, but yeah, Holly Holm, all these legends, but specifically Terence Crawford in a fight hype interview from Sean Zattel, a fight hype. Shout out to him. Always watching him. Great work. But what I was trying to say was, Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, mega fight. There's a lot of talk for it being in October in Las Vegas. We don't know. I'm hearing stuff about October 1st, but it's a lot of. I'm very skeptical when it comes to these fights being made, as many boxing fans I believe are. Um, we've just seen a lot of fights been scheduled, or there are talks of it happening. Like, they're very far in negotiations, but once it's a done deal, it's never even really a done deal these days. Specifically, so in this interview, this fight hype interview, um, Terrence was asked about any word on the big fight with Errol Spence, and he basically said there's nothing really set in stone. And like, quoting him, they're still trying to figure things out. That's like him and his team. So if they're saying that they're trying to figure things out, and they're not even saying stuff like, we're closing in on the final details of the contract, something along those lines, then we know we're not really close to having this fight yet. Like, even if they were saying that, you'd have to take it with a grain of salt. You'd have to say, all right, they're finishing up, but it could still take some time for this fight to be made. Then they have to get down into the nitty gritty, make sure all the details are correct. This is a big fight, and it's been on record that many people don't feel as though it's going to make the kind of money that Floyd and Manny made for their fight. It is a mega fight in the eyes of, like I always talk about, it's a mega fight in terms of boxing, but in terms of icons and like the pay-per-views, the animosity, selling, the drama, it's not the same. As it doesn't have the same build up as Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. It just doesn't. Manny Pacquiao had a nation behind him, and he had fans all around the world, specifically around Asia and the United States. Like, he really was a worldwide icon. And when you have a whole country behind you with a very loyal fan base from even places other than the Philippines, you can't compete with that when it comes to sales. He was an exciting fighter. He was explosive. No one's ever seen a small guy, from flyweight to junior middleweight. It's unheard of. But and then you had obviously Floyd, the best defensive fighter of all time, maybe the best fighter of all time. Just inducted into the Hall of Fame for a reason. Undefeated. He played the villain role to sell these pay-per-views. You don't have that in this fight with Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. These guys do like talk trash to each other, but it's not the same. It's not the same. There's no storyline. There's no storyline. Like Manny Pacquiao had the storyline from how he went from rags to riches, and Floyd had the storyline of just like losing the Olympics and then never losing again, staying undefeated. The controversy around the Manny Pacquiao not wanting to take a drug test and suing Floyd for defamation of character, stuff like that. That kind of stuff builds, that kind of stuff builds the hype towards the fight, and you just don't have that in this fight with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. Everyone, I want you guys to understand that I'm not bashing the fight. I'm just saying that for casual fans, for people who don't really know boxing, those people tuned into the Manny Pacquiao fight and the Floyd Mayweather fight because of the storyline that was there. There's no storyline here with Terence Crawford and Errol Spence other than that. The fact that these are two of the best fighters of this generation, and they could face off. It's just not enough from the selling standpoint. It's not the same as Mayweather and Pacquiao. That's what people have to understand. So in terms of the money, these guys, this is the fight that holds the most amount of risk in their division. And they, of course, like any other smart fighter who's looking out for their own well-being, or promoter, manager, any businessman involved with the everything that goes on behind the scenes of boxing is going to try to make sure that their fighter gets paid the most, because this fight entails the most risk but also holds the most reward. So it's important that these guys are paid what they're supposed to get paid, because one guy, this could be the peak, the highest point or the most money that they're going to make. If they lose, then obviously that money goes down. When you hold all the belts, that's when you start making even more money. You're even more of a shot caller. So we'll see what happens. I hopefully this fight gets made. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. It's just you guys got to be realistic. We have to take everything we hear with like a grain of salt, because boxing's difficult. It's hard. These negotiations aren't easy. Everybody's trying to make their money. Promoters, networks, TV networks. They're gonna have to figure out. Terence Crawford's managers, I don't even know what's going on with that. So we'll see what his team does. We'll see what Errol's team does. Hopefully they find some common ground and make this fight happen, because it's good for boxing. It's good for the fans. But yeah, they have to get their money right and the contract straight and out. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Guys. Can't talk right now. Out of breath. NBA finals are going on right now. Warriors are up big, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on all social media platforms at Nabs Fight Media. Thank you guys for the constant support, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.